Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And crash. You son
Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. We made it our mission to help you guys own it, and we got a special one for you today. Fat Man Zoom. Before we do that, and everybody up in the starting five.
Starting five, we have Rudy Brown, Trevor Magson, Zoheb Galani, Arnie Vaneker, and look who it is. Number 5 is Don Fran from the Don Fran Show. You are starting five. Guys, welcome to Own the Chaos. We are live every Monday through Thursday, typically talking about the stock market, but not today, friends. Not today. You guys heard about me crashing the Barstool Sports Bar grand opening last Saturday. Today, Friday, I guess we crashed it. Today, we're going to I'm going to review the bar, tell you what I think about it. And more importantly, is this thing going to be what gets Penn moving? Does this make Penn a buy? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But first, you know what time it is. Fashionably late. But here, our boy, Freddie Valoy.
What is going on, everybody? Can you guys hear me? Because you guys sound low. Your mics are being little bitches over there on that side of town. I don't know what's going on, but we need to fix those mics. How do I sound, guys? Chaos Crew, let me know how I sound. Look at that. Let me know how I sound while I flex like this just a little bit. Guys, it's 2022, baby. What are we doing? Chaos Crew, what are your New Year's resolutions? And it's okay if you already broke them, because New Year's resolutions are meant to be broken. You feel me? It's okay. You were just trying to live a better life for yourself, but in reality, you wanted to slow it down a bit. I get it. Everybody has to move at their own pace. I'm not judging. Okay? And everybody knows that the new year officially starts the second Monday in January. So don't get caught up in the hype, guys, on this January 1st bullshit. I don't even really believe in time, all that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, so the second Monday has officially passed. So I hope you guys have gotten unmute. Guys, it looks like there's some connection issues over there where the Own the Chaos Studios is at. How about now? Can you hear me? Somebody muted me before they jumped off. They just bounced away like ninja in the storm. So we're talking about New Year's resolutions. Dropping people. Let's see. Hold on. New Year, dropping people and wasting time. Oh, that's a good one, man. The first couple of friends you got to drop are going to be the hardest, but after that, it becomes addicting, man. Setting boundaries is the shit. It's like OxyContin to me. It's like OxyContin in the suburbs to me, you know? Anybody, Jordan Peterson's book, The 12 Rules for Life, was a awesome book. It helped me get out of a depressive hole that I was in. And I was thinking today, I feel like Jordan Peterson is just Barney the dinosaur for grown-ass adults, right? For grown men especially. He's our Barney the dinosaur. Think about it. What's Jordan Peterson's first rule? Clean your room. What banger did Barney drop? Clean up, everybody do your share. Clean up, everybody everywhere. That's it for me, guys. That's a new joke I'm going to try tonight. First time I ever said it, so it's not even a joke. I'm doing a show tonight where we got to do the first joke we wrote in 2022, and I just wrote that one today. That was my first one of the fucking year. Guys, what's up? Let's go. Freddie sounds good now. Thanks. Hey, it is just me. We're supposed to be talking about the crash that your boy Fat Man Zoom did. The guy's talented. He does have a set of skills, and partly it is because he's Puerto Rican. I saw the video and I agreed 100% with everything that was going on. Guys, what do you put in the comments? What do you think? I'm going to get them back on, but in the meantime, what do you think Brad and Fat Man Zoom are doing right now when those cameras shut off? Think about it. What are they doing? They shut the mic off and the video, and they're in a studio alone. Bow, chicka, bow, bow, wow, bow, 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 bow. You know, sometimes it gets hot and heavy over there in the Own the Chaos studio. You know, right now they're owning the chaos of each other's butts. Maybe, I'm 35 years old and I still say stupid shit like that. It's called. Oh, I love puppies too. I love puppies that I know. I don't like strange. I don't know if I'm a dog person. I like dogs, but I don't fetishize dogs like a lot of people do. There's definitely some weird dog fetish going on. What's you guys' preferred dog breed? I like mastiffs. They just look cool. They look real cool. Basenjis are cool. They don't bark and they're little. Reach around, Snookeroo. That's what I think. I think the reach around was like move number 3 for them. And they had to get the playlist because, you know, those two guys, oh, they're getting back on now. Guys, we're going to get back on in a second. Bear with us. He just texted. What's up, guys? We're back. There's some weirdness going on. There's something going on in the air, but nothing's gonna stop us. No, let's talk about dogs better than stocks. Gosh, Michael Hanna, that's so true. That's so true. Dogs are fucking boring, guys. Dogs are too happy for humans. We had to beat them into submission. Then they're like, then we're like, hey, we're cool. Let's you can live in my house now that you're not pissing everywhere. But if you do it again, I'll put your face in it.
Shut up.
What's up?
Good God.
You guys done kissing?
No. Let me tell you something. We weren't doing anything. Everything was above board. Cameras went off, mics went off. It was just status quo over here. Don't be talking about it. But I do agree about the Puerto Rican comment.
Business
Appreciate
as
that. Hey, real quick though, Freddie, we got a surprise for you. This is for you and only you. We got somebody wants to say, what's up?
Oh my God, Colin! Yeah! What's up, bro?
When the cameras went off, they were not alone. Okay, I'm right here.
Yeah, we had him coming in.
Dude, now that I know Colin's there, he definitely shut the cameras off on purpose, and y'all did stuff in those last 3 minutes. So that's cool.
You guys can pay for that content on my OnlyFans, okay?
I appreciate that. And for you loyal Chaos Crew members, you may have remembered me talking about Colin, who has the Jock Strap podcast.
That's what.
It's a Jock
Support podcast.
It's a Jock Support podcast. That's Colin's podcast. Check it out. Anyways, let's get into it, guys.
Good.
We have a discussion. Appreciate you holding it down, Freddie. But I wanted to wrap to you guys because the crash of the Barstool party and Barstool Sports Bar, they had a private party, quick setup for everybody. On a whim, I flew from Baltimore to Chicago, 24 hours notice, and I crashed the Barstool party. No thanks to Eddie Barstool. Thanks for nothing, but I got in. I was successful. We're going to release a video later tonight that basically breaks it down, what actually happened. But what I wanted to talk about today was actually the sports bar, because you and I haven't talked about it. I know you wanted to know how it was, but how is the sports bar? What's it like? And then talk a little bit about the lead up, because I got some beef with my boy Freddie Beloy. But we wanted to go through all of that. But nonetheless, it was a fun trip, and I'm excited to break it down with you guys. Where did we begin?
Where was it at?
Well, also to just to tack onto that, we also want to see how this plays into Penn National and the stock itself, and how it's going to bring in sales and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I'll answer it at the end.
Okay.
Is it a buy?
Yeah.
Does this actually material mean anything for Penn?
Right.
So
Can I just settle my beef with Freddie?
yeah, just go ahead.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Freddie.
Because I I was not a very good fill-in, Freddie. I was not.
So guys, again, I'm not going to give all the information from the video that I sent out, or that we recorded. But here's what I will say when I was discussing the plan. Freddie was like, after Brad, Freddie was my next call because I knew I can count on him with helping me out with my strategy. And so him and I actually worked through the plan. I gave him the first draft and he refined it. And we came up with a solid ass plan. When you say, Freddie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought it was great. It was exciting.
Yeah. So part of that plan was literally first step was me calling Freddie.
Yeah.
So Freddie and I are talking throughout the whole day. He tells me, hey, other than this 30-minute block from 8 to 8:30, I'm going to be available because he was doing an open mic. Well, I wasn't calling him till like 11. It's go time. I go to call Freddie. No answer. Text him. No answer. This dude is sleeping, fast asleep on my biggest night of the year. This dude is fast asleep. Bro, how could you do that to me?
Fat Man Zoom, it was all part of the training. It was part of the plan.
Bullshit.
Did you or did you not succeed in your mission?
I did succeed. No thanks to you.
I think that I'm the greatest of all time, greatest tactician for the nightlife of all time.
So you let me down. So then I'm like, well, at least Brad's not going to let me down. Call Brad. He knows the plan. Part of the plan is me calling, and you just I'm acting like I'm on a phone call. Start talking. And then Brad just has no, when you make a phone call and it's a fake call, so you say fake things.
Yeah.
Brad's like, dude, what are you talking about? What do you even mean? And so I'm trying to like not acknowledge what he's saying. And I'm just like, he'll pick it up eventually. He'll pick it up. Dude, what?
I did
What?
pick it up eventually.
What are you talking
He's like talking about his girl. I was like, bro, that's so fucked up. And like all this other stuff.
Yeah, I was telling him about my girlfriend.
But didn't you get the rundown right before?
Me?
Brad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got a text that says, I'm about to call you. You ready? And I said, yeah.
You knew the part of it was calling, and I was going to call on my way in.
Yeah,
to act like I'm on the phone.
It was also like well after midnight here.
Well, I'll say this: a team is only as strong as its weakest link. So, in the context of stocks, that I'm the weakest link here, so I got to get better there. And in the context of fake phone calls to sneak into a bar, Brad, you got to get better. We're both going to make a commitment this year in 2022.
Agreed.
What are you talking about? Oh, what are you even saying?
I was like, what?
So, anyways, let's talk about the bar, man. Listen, my background's bars. I've opened them. I've been a corporate trainer. I've ran them. I've held most positions in a bar, and I feel like I know enough that I can sort of gauge if a bar is going to do well or whatever. So I went in with those sets of eyes. Now, forget about the Friday party that I crashed. That was a cool time. I'm going to speak just in context of Saturday. So I was there Friday, but the grand opening for Barstool Chicago, which is in River North. Check it out if you guys are in Chicago. That was on Saturday. So I went. Wanted to check the vibe. I wanted to first see the reception of like the community and then just see how they operated, whatever. So you guys know, I don't know if you're aware of this because I didn't know. So Barstool partnered with a hospitality company called Stanton Bowery, which owns 310 Bowery in New York, which is a pretty popular spot.
Okay.
Similar type concept, I guess. But this is what they do, right? So they were going in there, sort of executing the operations.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing that I thought was initially a very smart move. Barstool didn't go in there thinking like, hey, we're just going to start a sports bar with no experience. And so that was good, right? Hire somebody who's done it before. And they did a really good job. I'll just say that, set that up. And I took notes, guys. Here's what I took keep in mind, this is the first sports bar. So when you open bars, a couple things you have to consider. First is we know that there's going to be some challenges with like staffing, service, all those. I get that. That's going to take time.
Right.
Looking at the sports bar perspective, cool space, big open windows. I don't even know what the capacity would be. So there's an upstairs, wide open upstairs, long bar, tons of TVs, VIP area with like, I think 4 couch areas. And then downstairs, they have a lounge called the VIP lounge or VIP room. And that's more like low key chill vibes. Tons of TVs as well. That vibe is cool. It's almost like a sports bar, like cigar lounge, I guess.
Okay.
Like that kind of like feel to it. So aesthetically, it looked really cool. I like that.
What about like the location of the bar? Like, it like,
Great location.
was it?
Yeah, it's great
Oh, nice.
location. There's first off, just because the windows are wide open, like visibility wise, if you're just walking down the street, which is a high traffic area, you're gonna notice it.
Yeah.
And so like when you look in, you can't help but wonder like, shit, what's going on in there? Let me go inside. You can see the TVs. It's just very apparent, like the location as far as geographically, and then sort of like that area it's a hot area.
That's
a
awesome.
really good area.
Do they have like food and stuff there too, or was it just-
Yeah. So yes, they have food, simple pub food, which I don't know if they're going to expand their menu.
Yeah.
Simple pub food, they execute it fine, which I think is the right move. I think you figure out what you are, which they're clearly a sports bar, and you do that really well. I think some operators complicate it too much and try to be like the best restaurant and the best sports bar and the best whatever. Now, this is like a sports bar that lends itself to nightlife. So they clearly are trying to have the nightlife piece to it. But the food's good enough. It's what it needs to be. It's not going to like be a 5-star restaurant or anything like that, but it's going to be good and it's going to keep you there, which that's the whole point of a place like this. Like the food's got to keep you there.
So go ahead.
How are the women? Like, how was like if you were to go out like guys' night to go try to pick up some women and try to like socialize, not even pick up, let's just say meet some fun girls and have a good time non-sexually. Is that a good spot for that, you think?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the interesting thing is going to be, obviously you're going to get the bros because that's just a Barstool crowd.
Yeah.
But it was a really good ratio. A lot of, and it was the Barstool demographic almost to a T. Now, how much of that was because Dave Portnoy was there and Barstool staff was there remains to be seen as they leave and open other ones. But it was exactly the demographic, a good mix. It was packed. It was absolutely packed.
Oh, nice.
And so, and everybody was cool. It's the Midwest, so everybody's welcoming. Everybody's really chill. There was a lot of people, Freddie, from New York, actually, especially the first night. And I don't know if that had to do with like invitees from like Stanton Bowery, Barstool team, because obviously Barstool has office headquarters in New York. So there's a ton of New York City people that at least one of the DJs was from New York. If not, both of the DJs were from New York that they flew in. So good time. Music. I mean, DJs were great. DJs were really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, when you look at these places, like what's the ambiance like? Lighting was great. I think that's the one thing that people miss all the time. They did, again, little kinks, like the TVs were a big issue. Like the TVs were left on a large part of the night. They shut it off later. Clearly somebody forgot to shut off the TVs. But more importantly, especially I was downstairs and like sports was on. And then all of a sudden the game's over. Nobody realized to change the TV. Nobody realized to shut off the TV. And it was the news. And it was literally this like fatal car crash.
Oh God.
Right. So like totally screws up the vibe. I heard Dave Portnoy said something about apparently they're going to get a role that actually is somebody who's just responsible for the TVs, which is incredibly smart because that is one of my big gripes with sports bars is like, you got to be on point with these TVs. Like before the game's even on, be ready and then be ready afterwards to switch it over. So that was a little thing that makes a big impact.
Was there anything else that you like really didn't like or that you thought was, could be kind of like a negative towards the bar itself?
Okay, let me pull up my notes. The one thing I want to say, and these will, I think they're going to get better as they build more of these out and realize like, you never do the first one right. So I want to be put a disclaimer on that. There were just little details, which I think are the most important. The bathrooms were fine design wise. I thought they could have done a little bit better on that, but they needed like music in the bathrooms. It was like dead silent, which was kind of weird. So even just a little like low music, I think would be cool.
Yeah.
I think where their DJ was set up, I think it was near the VIP, so I understand why you put it there, but I think that the DJ was strategically misplaced. I think the DJ should be more of a focal point, and where it was at, it was kind of the DJ was kind of tucked away. So from that perspective, design wise, any future ones, I would hope they make the DJ a little bit more focal. And it's going to be interesting to see how the staff develops and evolves, because it's a largely female staff, which is also very common when places open up. At the end of the day, it's great to have smoke shows behind the bar.
Right.
But you do need ringers. And, the whole thought is like hot girls behind the bar, it brings the dudes in. Barstool is going to bring dudes in. That's not going to be an issue. A sports bar is going to bring dudes in. And we used to have these conversations at the Horse. I'm of the thought that like you actually are better off with like a good looking, cool dude who can engage guys, but also keep girls. And so you don't want things to be a big ass sausage fest.
Right.
And that's what could happen sometimes when it's all female staff.
Like a Hooters, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're like, and then the girls are like, oh, that's a sausage fest. So not that there wasn't, but I didn't see like male bartenders. I think one I saw was like a manager who was just serving drinks. So I think if they get some cool ass dudes in there to mix with those good looking girls, I think that will be great. What I will say though is they did a really good job with like their bar backs or whatever they call them. Like they did a good job of like cleaning up tables, which is a big thing for me as well. In sports bars is like, if you leave stuff on the table and it's wet and whatever, that dude, there was one guy I saw, and I'm sure they had more than one guy, bro. He was running his ass off. He was killing it. And like empty drink, it'd be gone in like 10 seconds. Yeah. So they did a good job with all that. And even though I said about all the women, like the female bartenders, they did do a good job of like, they had really good personalities. Like I felt like they were cool, like guys, girls, type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, can hold a conversation and all that. Hey, what was it like from like
when you were too low, by the way?
Is my mic's low?
The urinals were too low. Just like
your mic's fine.
That's your dick's not big enough. You gotta have more hang.
Bro, I knew that was coming. I knew it. I fucking walked right into it. Give him a softball.
Yeah, but like from when you got there and was like, all right, I need to find a way to get in. Well, other than like me falling asleep and Brad, being the best sub he could be, what was it like, getting in and all that? Did you have any trouble? Like,
it went surprisingly smooth getting in. There was a couple hiccups and a couple spots. Like I thought I was in, and then I realized I wasn't in. There was like another level of like checkpoint.
Yeah.
So it was like going from this ultimate high when I thought I was in, then massive low, realizing that I still have to pass another spot. I had to pass the guest list, and then back to a high when I get past the guest list, and I walk in and the whole bar opens up for me and it's packed. That was like the best moment. Like walking through, nice. Realizing you're in. Oh, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
It's like a scene from a movie, that part. Like I was picturing the whole thing for you. What did you already talk about how you gathered some intel on the front end?
That's actually in the video that the pre-recorded we're sending out.
Yeah, we're putting out a video on the whole story behind him actually, getting into this place. And so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you put your notification bell on. You click on that and click on the like button here as well. If you guys are looking forward to seeing that video, I see Jeff Chow already teeing us up. You got to watch the video for that answer. I also saw that Chicago Kenny has been giving some of his insights as well. He talked about where the location was and how incredible that was. I thought he brought an interesting question here as well. Do they segregate Cubs fans and White Sox fans?
They don't, but I saw more White Sox fans.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay. That's
White Sox fans. I like the branding. You got the black and white.
Yeah.
I think outside of Chicago, like I never see outside of Illinois, I never see White Sox hats.
No, yeah.
You see Cubs.
Right.
Yeah. But that night, I saw more White Sox gear. I don't even remember seeing any Cubs gear. I'm sure there was, but I don't remember seeing any of it.
Huh.
And I saw a fair amount of Chicago gear. Way more New York hats. New York. I mean, Freddie, you're from New York. Everybody's got a rep.
Oh yeah, everybody. Yeah, that time's done. Because I mean, it makes sense that a lot of New Yorkers helped start that bar because New York was what really got the country popping. It's on its way out now, but we did our job getting America to where it needs to be. And then the rest of the country's just fumbling at this point.
Yeah. A couple things, and then we'll sort of go on the conversation as it pertains to Penn. Needed more, like, I thought, high tops, especially downstairs in the VIP bar. There's a lot of just dead space that maybe you could justify, like, oh, we needed it for standing, but you could pull tables.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a basic 101. You have high tops, you have tables, and then you just pull them. When it starts getting busy, you pull them. But if you don't have those, it makes it feel more empty. And so I thought they could have done a little bit better job downstairs. I felt it was a little bit underutilized. Maybe it becomes a cool spot. But interesting about the basement bar, we'll just call it the VIP bar, right? So it's called the VIP bar. The people I talked to were confused because they thought they weren't allowed in there, which could also lend itself to why it wasn't as busy down there.
Okay.
Because they thought it was literally only for VIPs, but that's just what they named it. So the naming part of it, I think they may realize that wasn't the way to go, to call it the VIP bar.
Yeah, maybe.
So that was one where, like, everybody kept saying, like, well, am I even allowed down there? And, like, you got upstairs packed. Also, Logan Paul and Dave Portnoy up there. But I feel like downstairs was impacted by the fact of the naming.
Where's the next bar opening at?
Philly.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Jay Snowden, the CEO of Penn, had talked about this on last earnings, and he said both would be open Q1 this year, towards the end of January, beginning of February. So by the end of February, Philly will be open. Apparently, they open Chicago, it's Philly, it's Tampa, it's Scottsdale, and it's Nashville.
Okay.
That's the order, I believe, of the following ones. All great cities, all great locations.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. I think they'll be looking for more people sneaking in at a Philly event, because that's Philly guy attitude, like crashing a wedding, a bar opening. So security might be a little bit more tight. That means I'll have to probably stay up for this one.
That's what Colin was saying. Colin says, you think there'll be other crashers, or did you bump into some fella?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was curious if there'd be, like, Barstool fans that were out there, or people just trying to.
I'm very surprised that you were the only one that we know of that crashed that party.
Yeah. I don't think anybody else crashed it.
What if everybody but like two people crashed the party?
We were all crashed. I thought
Everybody's in on it.
Crashed.
Yeah.
They're like, let anybody in. We don't have enough. No. Yeah. So we're crashing everyone. I mean, listen, my goal is not to crash it. My goal is to, like,
Get invited.
get on the list.
Yeah.
We're trying to support Penn. We're big fans of Penn. Penn's my largest holding. Let's, and the reason why we love Penn is because of Barstool. So hook it up, baby.
If Dave Portnoy approached you guys with a contract to be a part of the Barstool network, would you do it?
Hands down.
Oh,
What?
nice.
What's the argument against it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Artists typically, they're like, I'm an artist. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
Hell no.
No, I will sell out.
That'd be the
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yes.
weakest negotiation ever.
Right. Like, when do you need us?
What favors do you need?
Yeah. You mean I don't gotta suck your dick or anything, man? This is just straight up.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into the stock a little bit. So as we know, Penn National, poorest performing S&P 500 stock in the S&P last year. So obviously not great. And could this be something that potentially brings more butts in the seats, so to speak? Can this actually impact Penn National in a positive way? And what's the purpose of these bars, and how can they actually bring money into Penn?
Yeah. We need a solo. Come back on me. I need to talk to the people.
Okay.
So pull me up.
I hope this camera's working because it wasn't earlier. Nope, it's not. There you go. Just
all right, guys, listen. Yes, S&P. Yes, Penn was the worst performing stock in the S&P last year. I get that. We've talked about Penn before, and I'm going to repeat it for those of you in the Chaos Crew, and those of you new, this will be your first time hearing it. But I'm trying to bang the drum to you people. When you look at the competition, whoever it is, nobody has a strategy like Penn has, and nobody has a strategy like Barstool has, and it's really lent from that. So their marketing approach is unlike anybody else's. Look at DraftKings, look at look at MGM, look at Caesars, look at any one of them. They're throwing money left and right, just to get advertising, just to get eyes on their product, right?
Yeah.
Where Barstool is doing it different. Barstool is essentially, they've talked about their omni-channel marketing approach. They're not spending money on advertising. What they're doing is they're buying shit that's going to lend itself to grow the business. So we talked about the Score acquisition in Canada. We talked about the Arizona Bowl, and that, even though it didn't go through, they're going to have it for the next 3 years. That's going to be a huge opportunity, because Barstool's going to come correct and throw a badass party for that bowl.
Yeah.
So those are the things that they're doing. What am I missing, Brad? I feel like I'm missing other things.
I mean,
just our creators.
Well, yeah, the creators, they're looking to be a legitimate, just straight up media company as far as Barstool's concerned. And then Penn has the ability to buy them out or buy the other up to 50% of Barstool in 2023. The other thing I will say is, though, just to kind of piggyback on what you're talking about on market spending and just the land grab that all these other sports betting platforms are trying to do, to me, Barstool has the ability to not do that because of the amount of stoolies they have. They have 70 million stoolies that they don't have to spend marketing dollars on because they already have them.
Yeah.
And that's the huge advantage. You got Caesars that we know is spending $1 billion in marketing, and who knows what kind of return on investment they're going to get and how quickly. So in my opinion, and we've talked about this too, the CEO of Penn National has talked about how they have the ability to be profitable right now, but they're choosing to hold that off just for a moment, probably only for till 2023, I believe is what he's mentioned, to get kind of like their ducks in a row before they really make the push. And at that point, they will be profitable and they won't have to spend crazy amounts of money. Whereas DraftKings, Caesars, MGM, even FanDuel is still going to have to dump money. And we already saw that, right? We saw how FanDuel has dumped $120 million over the next 4 years just for Pat McAfee. And that's just one thing that they have to put money into. So to me, Barstool has the upper hand here. And even though the stock hasn't performed, I think that it's going to be worth being patient for. Penn National's market cap is $7.75 billion. That's it. MGM's 20 billion. Caesars is in that vicinity as well. So to me, just fundamentally, the stock is stupid cheap. And I think if you have the patience to wait around for this to move up, I think that it's going to pay off quite a bit.
Yeah. So my point is they've talked about this omni-channel marketing approach, and to go back to the stoolies in the community, everything they're doing is top of the funnel to just get this huge community, right? And to continue to grow this community. And it all makes sense how they're doing it. I love the plan. I think it's smart. I think it's going to boil down to, will Wall Street see it? Will analysts understand what they're trying to do? They do need to just become profitable. They need to quit screwing around, just move to profitability and go from there. So this sports bar, let's be clear, is a marketing tool. It doesn't even need to be profitable. I was talking to my boy yesterday, who owns Bar Cocina. And I was like, bro, you just need to break even. That's all you need to do, is you need to break even. That's not going to be what's going to get, Barstool to the next level. Like the people in the seats, the branding, the brand awareness, getting that community that's into sports. And then what's that going to lead to? That's top of the funnel that leads to Barstool bets. Yeah. That's the whole point of it. If I had to guess, and this is a rough guess because I was trying to figure out how many people, the capacity of that place, and I think it might be like 400 to 500 people. Let me just say it's 400. And I think I might be overestimating a little bit. But revenue wise, that bar, I think, could potentially generate about $5 million a year. Like if I owned that bar, I think that we could turn $5 to $10 million out of that bar a year. So that's a good number. But when you think about the numbers that Barstool's playing with, that's peanuts.
Right.
So, and that's just revenue number. You got to take cost out of that. There's a lot of cost for bars. Right. So maybe it nets them $1 to $2 million per bar a year. That's not where the money is. The money is the brand awareness, the marketing, the visibility. Nobody in their competition will have that. Their brand aligns perfectly for a sports bar. It's genius they did it. It's a smart move. At the end of the day, all it's gonna boil down to is, can they continue to execute them? As Dave Portnoy, he can't be at every single Barstool. So, a few years down the road when they have 25 of these, can it sustain itself? Can it still have that cachet even when Barstool people, Dave Portnoy, they're not in the house?
Yeah.
That's the question that needs to be answered.
Yeah.
So I don't think this moves the stock, at least the bar being busy, but I think this moves the stock because I think this will move the stock because it'll actually bring more people to the Barstool Bets app. Barstool Bets app.
Yeah, it's all about the long game here, and I think that just it just contributes to that, in my opinion.
Yeah, Michael Hanna said, I lost the most money in my pay and trade last year. I don't have the courage to touch it again. You guys are right, but I'm afraid to lose my ass once again. We've talked about this in trading, like the emotions and forgetting history, right? Like things that move yesterday aren't necessarily the ones that move today, but we have recency bias. So like we look at those and are like, okay, well, that's what I'm going to stick to. Like your ability to have that QB mentality to forget the past is what's going to predicate your success.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that means you have to buy Penn, but trust the technicals. Look at the trade and why you lost your ass, right, Michael? Like, rather than focus on the fact that you lost your ass, go back in time and be like, well, what could I have done differently? Because it probably lies in the risk management side of things.
Yep.
And you're probably going to learn more from that trade than any winning trade you're ever going to have. But Penn's going to have its day. Let's be clear.
Yep.
It is my highest conviction stock.
It remains mine. And I think
your highest conviction.
Yeah.
Number one.
Top three.
Okay.
So I think when we look at the chart here, you can obviously see that there's some hesitancy here, and I'm with you, Michael, on that. As far as the short term is concerned, I mean, we're getting ready to hit 52-week lows again, and so it's obviously very frustrating in the short term, in the here and now. So I definitely hear you as far as that's concerned. But you just look at the fundamentals and how cheap this is; it just makes no sense for it to be down here. We can shout at the market all we want to try to get it to go back up, and obviously that won't work. But I think, in my opinion, if you're not in it, or maybe if you were burned by it in the past, I do think that it's worth at least taking a flyer on and kind of like averaging in until we start to see this move again. Even if you want to wait to actually see it bounce, I think that it's not going to go straight up in a day either. I think it's worth, you just at least keeping it on your watch list. And then if it starts to make the move, maybe if it gets above that 50-day moving average, somewhere around there, then you start to think about, okay, is it time to finally start considering getting back in the Penn? Because if it finally makes the move, right, then it's still cheap. Like it's going to have to get to $90 to $100 a share before you start asking yourself, okay, maybe it's a little bit too late to get in. But if it gets to 50 to 55, it's still under $10 billion market cap, and that's still cheap in my opinion. So I think that this is definitely worth waiting for. But there's also something to be said for dollar cost averaging in if you're already in it or what have you.
Yeah, and we've talked about this with stocks that have been beaten down, especially near their 52-week lows. I'm not saying to get in now. Wait for confirmation. Certainly, I like that, Michael. Is exactly where I was at. I like to see Penn above $50. Yeah, certainly. Like, let's start with getting above 50, but then Brad had a resistance up near 66. That's sort of the next step. So I would, if I wasn't in it, because I am in it, but if I wasn't in it, I'd probably wait for it to hold above 50, establish my starter there. And then if it moves above 65, 66, then I think it's all systems go. But what we've said about these type of stocks have just been massively beaten down. Even if you wait till 65, there is still so much more meat on the bone.
Yeah.
It's okay if you miss that move in the beginning. That's okay. And so you could still get, honestly, 50 to 100% returns if you get in at 65.
This stock was trading at $142 a share, less than a year ago. So it's just wild. You know, it was $100 ago, was in March of last year. So yeah, I think there's plenty of upside to go.
John Brucker, does Penn own Barstool Media Events? Or is it just the gambling side that they're on? Let me be clear. When we say Barstool's a media company, that is our theory. Like we think that's what they're moving towards.
Yeah.
They haven't outright said that they're a media company, but to me, it seems obvious that that's what they're moving towards.
Yeah.
So they own, I believe it's 36% of Barstool. Am I correct in that? Yeah, 36% stake in Barstool. That's all of Barstool. And then they have the right to purchase an additional 14% to own 50% of Barstool Q1 of 2023.
Which will be controlling interest of the company.
Yeah. So, and that's where I don't think people are talking about. That's a huge deal as we move towards the end of the year. You still have time to get in now. And, you know, maybe the summer is going to be a little, I don't know, but they have earnings coming up. We'll see what Jay Snowden talks about. Obviously, they've been aggressive with their growth strategy in general, but towards the end of the year, they're going to increase that piece of Barstool. And I think this move down has been unwarranted just because of some negative press around Penn in general. Maybe the New York deal the New York license not going through, which I don't think's as big of a deal. I think actually maybe a blessing in disguise.
COVID as well.
COVID obviously is a factor as that as well. And we've talked about domestic travel coming back for regional casinos. There are so many bullish factors to count. We can go on days and days with this, but I think that 50% piece, they're getting it for pennies.
Yeah.
Like you look at the FanDuel deal with Pat McAfee, they're getting the entire company of Barstool, 50% of it for pennies. Like everything.
They really are.
The umbrella of Barstool.
Steve Jackson asked if I still own my Penn Leaps. Yes, I do. I'm actually looking to add to this at the appropriate time. I'm still kind of waiting for some sort of confirmation that the sellers are finally out on this. But yes, I still have my Leaps in Penn.
Ooh, do you think? Good, Freddie.
No. Bruce is asking me, is referring to me as a diabetic. I want to know how he got this information. I don't think I've told anybody that. I think does he have my medical records?
I have no idea.
Bruce, I'm pre-diabetic, or I was. I'm not even anymore, but I was last year. How do you know this information? Bruce, are you my father? Jeff P asked, what are my opinions on oils? MCT oil. There's a thin line between health and shitting your pants. Okay, so just be careful. Okay.
Oh my
bro,
God.
You're looking fit, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Thanks, man. I'm down 15 pounds since November 12th.
I think
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Those sleeves are hugging you just right. That V. I thought the V was out. Is that a V or no? That's a crew.
No, that's a crew. That's a crew.
Okay. It looks a little, but I like the all black. I like that's like a change up for you.
Oh, my YouTube channel. Oh, Bruce, you're the man, dude. Bruce is checking in on me. Bruce is a friend. Thank you, Bruce. I'm gonna check that out. Chromium.
But I like that all black look, man. You should rock it more often.
Thank you.
Real quick, just to get to the general overall market, it got ugly last half of the day here. The Dow's down 176 points, which is good for 0.5% in the red. The S&P went down another 1.5%, and the Nasdaq got absolutely fucking hammered, down 2.5%. Oil's also down. Interesting. I'm not really sure what exactly prompted the sell-off, but you know, I ended the day green, thankfully, thanks to Ford. But everything else that I own actually ended up kind of turning red there towards the end of the day. I took some profits on my Ford trade, ended up rolling some of that into Viacom. And so I think Viacom is going to continue to do well. That's also one that's really undervalued, especially after all the drama that happened with that last year. Looked like that was starting to move in the right direction. But, man, what a move down. I think being in the cash, I know that you're in cash, Fat Man Zoom. I actually have a pretty decent amount of cash as well. This could end up bringing itself a nice opportunity, but we have earnings season coming up, and I think that we could start to potentially see a little bit of a turnaround tomorrow. We'll see. The banks are going to be reporting, so it's going to be fun. Next week's going to be super busy. We're going to see all kinds of earnings next week, and you guys know earnings season is like my favorite time of the year, so it'll be great.
Yeah. So again, we're live every Monday through Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. As the market closes to discuss what's going on in the market. Sunday, we're also live for Stock Watch Sunday. Now, this weekend's a holiday. Market's closed on Monday, correct?
Yes.
So we're actually going to go live Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Correct.
Is there any football on Monday?
No football on Monday.
Okay.
Monday Night Football's
So
over.
we're good.
Yeah.
Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, notification bell, if you want to get notified when we get live. And at the very minimum, hit that thumbs up, baby. We appreciate it.
For you guys that are in our level 2 chaos crew, and if you're not yet, go check out that join button next to subscribe. I'm going live here this evening as well to go over my portfolio and the performance so far this year. Fat Man Zoom, we are up 65% compared to the S&P, which is pretty fucking awesome. So you guys want to see what I'm in, how I'm winning, and how I'm crushing the market, hit that join button or go to ownthechaos.com. The link's in the description. We'd love to have you guys help support the channel as well. That's going to do it for us. We will see you on Monday.
From Freddie, from B. Smith, from Fat Man Zoom, and from the Jock Strap Podcast. Bye. Jock Support. Jock Support. Podcast.
Go check out the Jock Support Podcast.
Jock Support.